Hi, this is Karen, host of the Mojo radio show. Welcome. We're so happy to have Mike O'Meara on the show today. Mike, welcome to the radio show.
Thanks, Karen. Good to be here.
I'm glad to have you, Mike. Could you tell our listeners how you work with an apartment investor in Texas? Tell us what you do.
Sure. My company, Apartment Realty Investments, works closely with one experienced apartment investor, Yates Hawaii Inc. Yates is looking for accredited passive partners, usually about 6 to 8 partners per investment.
Okay, and can you tell us and outline what an investment might be? What do you look for?
Typically, kind of a target apartment investment is going to be in a secondary Texas market. That's just not like a major city. And we only work in Texas. We're specialists in Texas. These secondary markets are going to have proven employment drivers that are nearby to the unit and a purchase price around $5 to $7 million. The financing is already in place with Berkadia, which is a Berkshire Hathaway joint venture, and we typically use Fannie Mae debt. Yates Hawaii is already a pre-approved buyer with Berkadia. A typical down payment is 25%, and assuming there's no large capital outlay for rehab, and say a $6 million purchase price, that's $1.5 million of equity needed to close the transaction. With 6 investors, this would be about $215,000 apiece, which is why we request a minimum investment of $250,000 per investor partner.
Okay, it's becoming clearer. I'm wondering how you find apartment properties in these Texas markets.
That's really where the special sauce comes in. I call it transactional velocity. It really boils down to a well-oiled machine that can move quickly and efficiently. Reader's Digest version on the first few steps so you have an idea. The entire Texas multifamily market, aka apartments, is controlled by only a handful of, say, 4 to 5 brokerage houses that specialize in apartments. As a proven and strong closer, Yates Hawaii is on all of these brokers' speed dial lists. My close associate, Mark Yates, who's an operational partner of Yates Hawaii, he gets submitted these off-market properties, and they're sent to him before they're even listed. He tours the properties, reviews the property financials, and see if it's a fit for the portfolio. If so, Mark sends a brief workup offer to the lender Berkadia just to make sure the offer that we're getting ready to submit will finance out okay. Yates Hawaii will then submit that offer before the property even hits the market. By going through Berkadia before we submit the offer and not leaving anything to chance, we can put in these offers a contingency that there's no financing contingency. There's nothing stopping us from moving forward. And the sellers absolutely love to see that.
Thank you. I'm going to sneak another question in here because we were talking earlier. I know that you have some examples that are almost too good to be true, but they are true. So could you give us a little overview, a little touch of one of your properties and how the investors benefited?
Sure. First one on the website under sample properties, that's probably a good place to start. Bought in December 2005, 120 units, 2.65 million purchase price, $600,000 down. Note that's 23% down, and we were looking for 6 partners at $100,000 apiece. Our successful model has remained remarkably consistent for over 15 years. So 2 investors took the entire $600,000. The property has been refinanced twice, distributing $1.79 million back to the partnership. The entire initial investment has been returned to the partners nearly 3 times over, and it's still cash flowing today.
I'm so glad I asked you that question. I'm just thinking that the reason in part for your success is because of that secret sauce and the knowledge that you and Mark have.
Well, also, Karen, something else too is that we didn't just pull 6 to 8 partners out of the air. When we have a small group of partners to work with, we can basically get input and interest on what they would like to do with the property, sell it, hold on to it, or whatever. I mean, this is unusual. The property has been, that one I just told you about was bought in 2005. They still own it today. but there's only two partners, very few moving parts to work with. And we just polled them and they say, no, let's hold on to it a little bit longer. And it's worked out great for them.
I love that. Well, if someone wants to become one of your partners or they have interest in it, what is the best way for them to get in touch with you?
Best way is just to call my cell or text me a time you'd like to talk. I'm in Houston, which is Central Standard Time. And also feel free to review the website beforehand. Besides the property I just mentioned, there's four others that have been bought and sold and a couple in the portfolio that are still being held as well. Jot down a few questions. Our call should go pretty efficient.
I work with you a little while and I want to describe you as no nonsense, knowledgeable, and no hard sales. Is that correct?
I would say that sums it up. Either this works or it doesn't. We have a very streamlined process that works. We have all the players and positions filled out. And we would love to have some more people come online. And this has worked really well. Gates Y's been a very successful Texas specialist in apartments for over 20 years.
Fantastic. Thank you for being on the show today, Mike.
Thanks for having me, Karen.
I want to say goodbye to our listeners now. Thank you for being on the show. And we look forward to bringing you another Mojo amazing client the next time. See you then. Bye.